Hello everyone, welcome. How are we? Are we well? It's nice to see you all. How was yesterday? Did you enjoy a little trip into 1990s Italian football? Gazzetta, TJ. Obviously we started that last night because the Pentagon wasn't going anywhere, really, was it? Let's be honest, it just wasn't happening. And as I said at the time, I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't in the mood for it. I certainly got no connection to it. So with that, there was no sort of reason really to continue. Obviously, FM25's about 6 weeks away or so, maybe 8 weeks possibly. There's just not enough time to get it finished. So we figured we'd sack it all off and we'd go and do something that we actually enjoyed. And what we enjoy is we enjoy 90s Italian football. So that's what we decided to do. And we are at AC Milan. Yesterday we spent 20 million quid. We bought one or two players. They were quite good. Do you want to see? So this is what we did. We brought in the following: Alan Shearer, Andrea Pirlo, Mehmet Scholl on loan, Pavel Nedved, Gianluigi Buffon and Alessandro Nesta. So, not a bad set of signings, I think, for us to start with. So, fairly reasonable. And I think, we could just sort of go, that's fine. Let's just do that. And then that's what we did. So we figured we'd start from there, and we've already started our Serie A campaign fairly well, by the looks of it. Fairly well. We've won 4 out of 4. 3 out of 3. Sorry, one Champions League match. We've got a second Champions League match now against AEK. So let's have a little bit of that, shall we? Bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just going to do the old social media postings, because you've got to do that as a content creator. Now you've got to get those socials on the go, haven't you? May have done some pre-season season shopping. Not a bad set of transfers, if I do say so myself. So how's everyone's day been? How's everyone been getting on? Anything fun? Anything interesting? I'll be honest, I don't think I've done a huge amount. It feels like it's one of those fairly sort of like, not quiet days. It's been interesting enough, but it's just felt like a bit of a right. It's a Wednesday. Let's sort of see where we go, see how far we can get. It's fine. It's all fine. Let's get on to this, shall we? Let's go on this. Let's just get cracking through. So Pirlo becomes the youngest ever Champions League player, aged 15. Data hub, we should probably put our data. Are we going to bother with data? No, we're not really, are we? Because let's be honest, we're not. This is not how we judge this save. The save is not judged on data. This save is judged on, can you win everything? That's the expectations of the board. Please, TJ, win the Coppa Italia, the Champions League and Serie A all at once. And it's like, no, thanks for that. That's mint. Really, really happy with that. There's no margin for error at all in that one, is there? None whatsoever. Nah, not a thing. So yeah. Franco Baresi's happy now. That's good. I was worried for a bit that Franco Baresi was upset. Calaspira Mean Wolf, how are you, my friend? Hope you're good. Nice to see you in. Tamuri Ketspire's feared. Ooh, remember Tamuri Ketspire? The man who famously took off his kit and started kicking advertising hoardings as a Newcastle player when he scored a goal. Just once. Liquid Death is a bit. No, it's not. It's what it is it's. I hate to say it, but it's Tory water. It's It's sparkling water with a bit of lime in it. So that's the thing. It should that should focus in. It's not doing it, is it? It's meant to have product mode on this camera, but maybe not. Yeah. So it's a sparkling water with a bit of lime. Yesterday's had mango in it, and what it was a bargain. Is what it was. And it's normally 4 for £6 in Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available, but I can only get the price check from Tesco's. And it was 3 for £1 in B&M bargains. B&M, yeah. So I figured that worked out to 36 for £12. So I bought 3 boxes because that's how my brain works. This is Milan, Oxford. I know, Luffy. I'm terribly sorry. And the interesting thing is about it is I haven't actively been trying to do dry January, but at the same time I have done dry January, or am in the middle of doing dry January. Literally slap bang in the middle. 15 days in now. So it's sort of tied in quite nicely, and it's quite tasty, to be honest. So I thought, yeah, you know what? Fine, let's have that. So yeah, so I'm not on the beer at the minute, so I'm on this. So it's fine. It's not very sparkly. It's not fizzy like a lemonade, I suppose. And it doesn't taste like, well, the weird thing is it doesn't taste like sparkling water, because I don't like sparkling water. Sparkling water is too dry for me. Does that make sense? Very, very dry. This is actually quite nice. I'm not helping myself at all, am I? Calispiro Jason, by the way, welcome in over on YouTube. Nice to see you, my friend. Champions League music ringing out loud in Athens. Oh, do you remember Athens? We used to do some. We used to hang out in Italy, didn't we? In Greece, sorry. But those were the days. Those were the days. Champions League. Have we checked out Parma? Yes, we have. Mean Wolf, we definitely have. They've got some players. They've got an Aspria. They've got a Zola. They've got a Brolin. They've got a Nesta Sensini. They don't have Buffon anymore. He's now with us. So since Tony left Larissa, it's still raining. Really? I think it rains for 40 years now, I believe. So Nedved whips the corner in, claimed by the goalkeeper at Mancedas. This is interesting, right? Because obviously whenever we play FM, all of you lot know the current players and the modern players and all the youngsters and that. And you're like, oh, check out this guy from plays for Dinamo Zagreb, or this fella plays for Rennes. And I'm like, I don't know who you're on about. Whereas now I'm looking at this going, yeah, okay, I know most of these players from most of the teams. And we spoke yesterday about Igor Proti. There's Alan Shearer running off with his not a Nazi salute, but giving it the big owls. So 1-0. Donadoni to Shearer to Van Basten. Baresi. The big Hey Al. That's the one, Luffy, yeah. Shearer. Donadoni. Oh, it's 2. I'm at an age that I've watched Hullet play for Feyenoord. You watched Romario play for PSV. I think we're about the same age, though, aren't we, Mean Wolf? Well, I guess the 78 means that was the year you were born, so you're 2 years older than I am. But we've all seen some things. I've seen some things. We've been through a lot. Cobbler Sean, the players in this team makes me feel stuff you normally have to go to some dodgy websites to match. Isn't it just, Sean? Isn't it just? This is what football's all about. None of this modern day, XG and all that kind of nonsense, expected points. Like, this is all about when you used to get football and you go, this is fun, isn't it? All these players, and somehow no one mentioned Graham Hyde at Sheffield Wednesday. I think yesterday we mentioned, who was the most obscure player I mentioned yesterday? I mentioned Igor Protti for a bit. That was quite good. David Weatherall, I don't think was mentioned as much as I expected either, to be honest. Oh, handball. Maybe we try and sign Kevin Pressman. I've seen football when it was amazing compared to now, and FIFA is more greedy than Rockefeller family. Yeah, like, I know I keep banging the drum, but football's not very good now, and it's not very entertaining. It's quite boring. And I think people are starting to wake up to it a little bit. And maybe that is slightly rose-tinted glasses on our behalf, to look back at this 90s Italian stuff and go like, wasn't it great back in the day? But the thing is, it absolutely was. And like every person has their generation of football. Like, there's certain people, MadScientist, who's in the chat now, the genius who created this, by the way, massive shout out to TheMadScientist. He's made 94, 95 this year. He made 07, 08. For some people, that is their GOAT year. 07, 08 is their GOAT year, because that's their generation of like the best football. And for Premier League, that was a hell of a season, I must admit. Probably one of the last full seasons I watched, like, and massively was into. I think I maybe stopped at about 2012, 13 or something. Kind of tied in with comedy, really. And I think I started to fall out of like watching football religiously. So yeah, it's been about 10 or 12 years or something since I've properly been into football as like an absolute, this is my life. Now it's barely a passing footnote. How much did you pay for a ticket in the 90s compared to now? So that's an interesting one. So I remember, well, this must have been the late 80s, I'm guessing. I remember turnstiles, and it was like £3 to get in. And then I remember paying a tenner, and I was like, right, okay, £10 a match sort of feels expensive, but feels okay. You did get free tickets from school, that's right. Barton's right, there was free school tickets. There was, you're right. And I remember when it went to £20 and I thought, that feels expensive. That's starting to feel expensive. And now I'm looking at like Sunderland and it's like £43. I think it was £36 we looked at the other day, because we were going to go to the Portsmouth game. And even the kids, you've got to pay for the kids. At York you don't have to, but at Sunderland you do. And I was like, that's expensive. That's becoming expensive now. Like, very, very expensive. And not everyone can afford that. Not everyone can afford that kind of money. So when football starts becoming a treat rather than something that people just do, that's not a thing. Like, we cost it out, like, for the four of us, it was going to be like way over like £150 or whatever for the day. And it's carnage when you think about that. You're like, can we justify that sort of money? No. Yeah, championship prices are expensive, Gudge. They're pretty much Premier League prices, to be honest. So there's a Shearer hat trick. Prefer non-league these days. I do as well. Like, but then again, even York City's £22. So you put that into the sort of like comparison there with Sunderland, and I know they're categorised in tier games now. So like some matches are slightly cheaper, some matches are more expensive. Rather than just going, it's football, it costs this, Football is something I can technically afford but can't justify. That is, you know what, Luffy? Get that on a t-shirt. That's a hell of a statement. Like, that is a beautiful thing. Football is something I can technically afford but cannot justify. Oh, I'm gonna clip that and put it in the Discord. That is like chef's kiss. £25 a ticket for an adult to sit in the main stand at Northampton in League One. So that York price seems mental. Yeah, mad, isn't it? York are in the conference, or the Vanarama National, I suppose it's also called. And then you look at what European prices are, and it's like stupid, isn't it? Mad Scientist streaming price. I would need 5 different streaming services to be able to follow the top 5 leagues. The Premier League is the most expensive. Oh, Mads, like the cost of TV football is stupid. Over here as well, like I think we've not had Sky for about 7 years maybe or something, and I think our last Sky package was £90. So God knows what it is now. I've got no idea. Like whatever you're paying, it's a lot of money, and I bet it's not worth it. But welcome in, Mad, by the way. Mad Scientist, the brains behind this database. No one else thinks to put all the 90s football together. This is now 4-3. This is not what we were hoping for, is it? Darlington is £16 to £18 for standing and seating. Still quite a lot in it. That's Northern League, so that National League North. So that's the league below York City. I mean, in a sense, it's sort of reasonable, but it's also sort of not. I think, is it? I don't know. £12 maximum for you and the lad for Barton. So is that £12 each or £12 between you? Because at York, like, the kids go free, which is fair enough. But I am a little bit annoyed that I've got to pay £14 at Sunderland to take the kids who aren't interested in football, but it's just literally for me to try and get them interested. That seems a lot of money to try and get kids interested in football. You would think there should be less of a barrier. £12 in total. Oh, that's away. At home it's a tenner for me and the lads free. That's mint. That's mint. That's what, you know. Brilliant. That makes complete sense. Leroy, me and my father are finally going to a match in England. You turn 40 next year. Please don't roast me. Well, we won't roast you, Leroy, unless, of course, it depends upon where. And if you're off to Newcastle, then, of course, we'll definitely grief you for that. But come to Sunderland. Is Scotland cheaper compared to England? I guess it probably is. I don't think Rangers and Celtic tickets are cheaper. I think they're probably the same price, if not more expensive. I can't remember how much we paid for Celtic. Last time I went to Celtic was my stag do, so no idea. No idea how much that cost, but I imagine they're probably the same price as Premier League tickets. For my brother-in-law in Dusseldorf, it's 25 to 30 euros a ticket. Yeah, and the season tickets are like €300 as well, aren't they? Chelsea, Leicester, please don't start. I mean, well, yeah, okay. I'll just leave you to it, Leroy. You can do whatever you need to do, you know. But as long as you have a nice time, that's the main thing. Musterman's in the house. There we go. £13, says Musterman for his local side. Southern League, Premier Division Central still feels anything above a tenner is excessive. Like if you've got multiple, if your league is multiple words, then yes, anything over a tenner is too expensive. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't be doing that. That's far too expensive. Dusseldorf did free tickets for certain games last season for local residents. I like that. I do like that. I think that should be more of a thing. York's a difficult one, you see, because they share the football stadium with the rugby team. In fact, actually, the rugby team have the stadium and York City play on the pitch. And it's in a retail park, so the car parking is basically you have to You have to go and buy something in the retail park and get your parking validated. So it's all like it's just ridiculous. To be honest, it makes no sense. So yeah, giving out free tickets or reduced tickets, I don't know. There's just something that just doesn't quite work with York. So, but they have a residents' weekend in town because they're very tourist heavy. So they have residents' weekends, which is coming up soon, actually, I think. But yeah, I can't see them doing it for the football, which again they should, because despite what York thinks, it's not a football town or city. It'll try and tell you it is, but it's not. And they could do with maybe trying to sort of encourage people to go. What teams think that the league? What teams? We've still got managed to do real life football in this 90s fantasy save. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? For someone who doesn't want to talk about real football, I end up doing it a bit too much, don't I? What a ball that is. Van Basten. I'd pay 20 quid to see Van Basten play, that's for certain. I think that's also part of it as well. When you think about the players that you're getting to see now, none of them are worth the money. Like, I've seen Bergkamp play for about a tenner or something. Like, that makes sense. When you're looking at, thinking about watching Wes Hoolahan, it's not quite the same, is it? No disrespect to Wes Hoolahan, it's just the first name I thought of in my head, and I think he's actually retired, so again, even my modern references are out of date. Yeah, I watched Henri as well, yeah, I saw Henri. Telford, Stourbridge and St Ives. Ooh. There's Nedved, gets through. Nedved tucks it home. Non-Wednesday, Van Basten is one of my all-time favourites. No idea why. I can tell you why. He scored that volley. That's why. Because you're the same age as me, Barton. You'll have grown up seeing the Van Basten volley. That's why. And he's part of that Dutch team. So that's why you'll also love the Dutch players. And that's why you'll love that Holland kit. Because it's all ingrained in your brain as the 1988 Holland kit is the greatest football kit of all time. Why? Because Van Basten scored that goal and it was in the volley, yeah. And the Soviet Union wore the same kit, and Hullet looked mint because he had dreadlocks, and it was all stuff that people weren't exposed to a lot in the late 80s in the north of England. According to Celtic website, adult season tickets £579. That's a lot, innit? That is a lot. I think Sunderland season tickets are about 400 and something. Maybe they're 500 quid, I don't know. I looked a couple of years ago and they were like 320 or something. I was like, oh, maybe. And then now they're like over 400 quid, and I'm like, no, not for me. I think even York City's is like 250. Like, if York City season ticket was 100 quid, I'd probably do it. I went to Madrid in the late 2000s, worked in Spain, cost 80 to 90 euros for a ticket. The gods behind the goal versus Valladolid. The atmosphere was awful. My mates started to celebrate a goal and whistle them sit down. Well, that's not fair, is it? Mastermind, welcome in, sir. Nice to see you. Appreciate the raid. How was your stream? Funny you should mention the Valladolid. A mate of mine I was talking to the other day, they went to Barcelona at the new camp and they saw Valladolid. And they were expecting to see a 0-0. I think it was a 1-0 win. I think Neymar scored like 80 minutes or 85 minutes or something. Darlington season tickets $270. That's reasonable. Actually, it's not, is it? It's quite expensive. Split it for what? Split it for 30 games? I don't know. Yeah, I think anything more than 14 quid a ticket for a season ticket is expensive. Because you've got to try and like save some money on it, surely, haven't you? 14 quid a game. 14 quid a game, that's the reasonable price for football. 20 quid if it's top division. FM consoles in. Right, everyone. Just remember, we were winning. We were winning, right? We were winning up until this moment. Hold on, FM 95. Yeah, well, sort of, in a sense, console. We've gone the Mad Scientist route. The Pentagon was just not clicking for me. I wasn't feeling it. I'd rather have Paolo Maldini in my life. So we didn't have time for the Pentagon challenge. I couldn't do it justification. I didn't have any affection and affinity to what I was doing, and it was just not fun. So I thought, you know what, FM needs to be fun, and I forgot that recently. I forgot that FM needs to be fun. Jason says I paid €15 to watch Hamilton Rickard play football. I think you should get money back for watching Hamilton Rickard. It wasn't really a Pentagon, it was more of a line. Agreed completely, Sean. And what I would have wanted, and how the Pentagon's meant to work, is you're meant to get close, and then you're meant to go again, and you're meant to go again, and then eventually you do win it, and you're meant to feel as though you've earned the those trophies. And what we did was we went, we haven't got time to try again, let's just go somewhere else. And it wasn't the thing, was it? It wasn't the thing. So yeah, it was probably the best idea to move on. We talked about maybe doing it next year properly, but then we also thought, we mentioned last night, we were talking about this, maybe we don't even have a challenge next year. Maybe it's just a case of we start unemployed and we just see where we go, and that's a bit more TJ in it. Just no real plan, just let the narrative guide the way, because we're all about stories. We're all about stories. And I don't feel as though we've told any stories since Larissa. So that's the thing. We have to go back to telling stories next year. If you fancy doing a community draft on the FM database, I'm up for it. Well, no. like, not... So how do I phrase this? It would be fun. It would absolutely be fun, but I don't care for people's competitiveness. That's the problem. And there'll be people sat in the editor working out who the best players were and looking at, doing research, and then they'll be in the Discord chat and they'll be trying to give it the big one, and I'm not in that space. Oh, pick that one out from Shearer. I did mention it a while back, and maybe I should have capitalised on it back then. Pretty much when when FM 25 was announced that it was going to be delayed, that's when we should have done it. You know what I mean? But yeah, never mind. We missed out. Maybe a bit further down the future, but my head's not really in competitive mode at the minute, and it's certainly not in the mood for other people being needlessly competitive. I'm a bit, yeah. It just wouldn't work for me. And sometimes I've just got to think of myself. Unfortunately, I've got to be little bit selfish and go, you know what? Not for me. If it's Llama, Psy, Musterman, not RDF, he'd kill us with tactics. No, not true. Not true. RDF tactics is not as good in PvP as you'd imagine. Have I beaten RDF? I might have done, I don't think I've lost to RDF, put it that way. So there is that. Friendly competitive mode. There's no such thing. Eventually somebody will take it too seriously. It won't be me, that's for certain. Somebody else will, and I'll be like, oh, for God's sake. Matches taking 25 minutes because it's all pausing and making little adjustments and tweaks to tactics, and it's oh God, yeah, you only beat me in PvP because I played no midfield. See, exactly, that's the way to do it. Musterman is played it the right way. He went, I'm going to try a tactic that definitely has no players in that position, and I went, are you sure? Because I'm just going to put the ball there. And it was yep, that's what I'm doing. But yeah, sometimes people become a little bit too obsessed. Right, Van Basten thinks he might want to walk, so we told Hullet we were ambitious. He was fine with it. Van Basten's fine with it as well. And he sacked his agent as well. Get in. I love seeing Mustermann's formations in Match of the Delay. They were so fun. They were brilliant. Like, don't really understand. I don't understand how Van Basten wants to stay for $9,000 less, but in you go, Marco. Speaking of Marco, actually, why did I not think about it? The actual Marco. The best Marco. Where is he? Marco Gabbiadini. He's Italian, technically. Well, he's not really, is he? I think he was born in York. Former Sunderland legend. Kevin Phillips can't come here, by the way, because he's only just joined Watford. We did look at that. Does having Berlusconi go against the ethics of TJ Ball? I've seen that from MCG. Yes, technically it does. Technically it does. But Mr. Maggio suggested that I try and leave football opinions out of the game, and I'm trying. Darlington legend Gabbiadini. Oh, 100%. 100% big man's. He's he lives in York now. He's got a bed and breakfast in Bishopthorpe, which I think is pretty class. To be honest, it was. Did I mention this to you? I might have mentioned this. It seems like the sort of thing I would have definitely have mentioned. So unsurprisingly, right? Unsurprisingly, I listen to Six music in my car when I'm driving because of course I do, because I'm a dad. And there was I forget what the feature was that they were talking about, right? But someone was talking about something like circles, maybe, or something, roads, and someone had rang up, and they were in York, and they were trying to sort something out in York. Someone had said something, whatever, and then someone had rang back up, and there was a guy called Marco had rang back up and spoke to the disc jockey, and was explaining the situation and whatever it was, and they said, oh, and this was like the day previous, and they were replaying this conversation. They're like, oh, we should have mentioned that this lad called Marco who rang up from York, he's this Marco. And it was Marco Gabbiadini had rang the radio to correct the DJ about something that was being said. And I was like, fucking get in, Marco. Go on, get them telt. And I enjoyed it probably a little bit too much in the comfort of my own car, going, go on, Marco, you get them telt. So yeah, I was very happy. That's a long-winded story to essentially say, hey, did I ever tell you Marco Gabbiadini rang up a radio station once? That's that story. So that's my new closer for my stand-up set. Making notes, six radio roads, dad stuff. That's the one. That's the one near post. And yes, Shearer is in red. Shearer is in red. And scoring goals as well. Him and Marco van Basten have formed a reasonable partnership up front. There's the one. There's our boy there. Old Bergkamp. Nicola Berti. Wim Jonk. Frank Leboeuf's gone to Inter. Giuseppe Bergami. Gianluca Pagliuca. Oh, I love him as a goalkeeper. He's so good. So it's Milan versus the Blue Neri. And as you can see, obviously the licensing has affected our kits as well. So Jason, this is, I believe, that probably the only club that Ricard needs to compensate what my eyes saw that day. I mean, yeah, he wasn't that good at Middlesbrough, so I imagine when he went to Greece, even less so good. Barcelona took Maradona from us. We went in for him, but Barcelona got him. So, which is fair. We would have found a way to get him in the team, but we've got a reasonable midfield anyway of Hullet and Albertini and Boban, Nedved, Savicevic. There's Albertini from distance, Donadoni. So then we added Pirlo in as well, because we figured we were a little light on numbers. Guess who we got in the European Cup? Oh, of course. I hadn't even made notes about that. You're right, Rouge. Yeah. We got Barcelona. So we'll come up against Maradona, Hadji, Stoichkov, Romario, Koeman, I think, possibly. Guardiola. I want to say is it Goycochea in goal for Barca, or was he at Madrid? We streamed last night when I was out of town shouting abuse at Charlie Austin at Merthyr Town. Well, we did. Sorry, yes. I wasn't aware that you were out shouting abuse. Otherwise, I would have not done it. So, yeah, we set everything up last night. We got ourselves sorted, and we had a lovely time, lots of fun. What abuse were we shouting at Charlie Austin? I've played 8-9 years in the future in this database, and it never gets boring. However, you do end up knowing who to sign. I think that's part of it, innit? Historical databases, you do kind of work out going, I think they might become alright. I know who they are. So, I think you're right. I think long term, this is not long term, this is just literally like a sort of like, let's get in and just have a bit of fun. Save here. Let me remember about these teams' players. Are people going to be doing that in 30 years' time? No, with this set of players, no. Not at all. I think you'll get your Messis and Ronaldos, definitely. But I don't know. Like, I don't think there's, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that there's an elite level. Like, not every team has got as many top quality players as these teams did in the 90s. Even in the early 2000s, and that other database that Mad's got, that 07 or 08 one, like, incredible players in those teams as well, like, just, and split all around. Each club had like brilliant players, whereas now you sort of go, is anybody going to really care about Leon Bailey? Like, who's massively fussed about, well, I don't know, Kessie and Shearer, who cares about fucking, I don't know, just name anybody, like any Everton player. Just, I can't see any Everton fans like, being sort of like reminiscent about this period of their team, going like, oh, you know what, yeah, that was class. Like they might think Jordan Pickford, but that probably says a lot more about the world of football if you go, do you remember Jordan Pickford? Tony Hibbert mentions a true goal. Yeah, well, Everton have got this incredible thing of having the greatest fullbacks ever. So Tony Hibbert, get in, Big Rude, Tony Hibbert, Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman getting 3 absolute goals. And I mean, Wayne Rooney wasn't too bad, I suppose. Yeah, Wayne Rooney's not that bad. But you've got to go back then, haven't you? You've got to go back to when Rooney played for Everton. You've got to go back to when Lee Carsley was there. Pickford over Southall is never happening in a conversation. Probably not. Rooney was an average fullback. He was. He couldn't read the game as well. It was his covering was not great. David Unsworth for the transfer saga. That's when when he signed for Villa, and then like a couple of days later, or like I think it was a couple of days later, when his wife was like, "We're not now. We're going somewhere else. We're not. You're not doing Villa. You can go to Everton, and you can be happy. Deal with it." So that was quite interesting to see how that one played out. Like Paulo Futre. Desai. Was that another failed West Ham signing? I remember him being at Southampton. At West Ham, sorry. Marco Boogers. Are we listening? I mean, again, the list of... I know Gudger's in, and I feel bad now because we could just literally have an entire stream talking about really bad West Ham signings. And I'm sure we could fill the 3 hours quite comfortably. Yeah. No, do it. I mean, where do we begin, Gudge? It feels like every single summer, West Ham always sign a striker for 30 million quid who doesn't score for them, and then they sell him for 12 million quid, and he becomes the greatest striker in the world. Hello, my name's Skamaka, for example. Florin Radicchio. Oh. Big fan. Didn't West Ham have Davor Shuka for a little bit? Again, like not being able to make him score. Like, you would think having Davor Shuka would be incredible, but the West Ham are like, nope, he's playing the West Ham way. Jose Dominguez at Spurs. There's a name I've not thought of for a while. Hugo Porfirio. There's another one. There's a name I've not thought of for a long time. Shuka scored 2 goals. How long was he there? Van Basten's locked down his contract. He's not leaving anyway. He wants $9,000 less and he'll stay. I have West Ham having Diego Tristan, really? Harry Redknapp's got a lot to answer for. You can't put it all on Harry Redknapp, because there is some of it that was Alan Pardew's fault. And, you know, like, Harry Redknapp wasn't there this summer. You can put some of it on his door, obviously, because some of it was ridiculous, and it was Harry Redknapp's fault, but not all of it. Unless maybe the West Ham way is buying players, is being really bad in the transfer market, and that's the West Ham way. Because I do struggle with what the West Ham way is as well. Who was we had someone in a few weeks ago, didn't we, who was giving it the big one about West Ham, and we laughed them out the building. I went, no. They were like, oh, well, we won the World Cup. Like, no, you didn't. No. Let's rewind on that one. West Ham did not win the World Cup. The West Ham way doesn't exist. I didn't think so. Maybe the West Ham way is a road, and no one's really thought much more about that. I'm going to give Buffon a run out in goal in place of Rossi. Do I? Against Reggiana. Where's Reggiana in the league? I love this. This is like, we had 5 matches into the season and I'm already going, should we put a 15-year-old goalkeeper in goal? That'll be a good idea. 16. Do you reckon he'll be all right? Or do you reckon we play him in a cup game? Let's put him in now. And Albertini can come out for Pirlo. And then you got Nesta as well. Nesta for Baresi. Let's just do a little bit of mixing stuff up, shall we? West Ham winning the World Cup in Yorkshire coming top of the Olympics are the most boring regional claims to fame ever. I think you're right. Because all they have to just turn around and go, no, they didn't. No. That's not true. West Ham won the World Cup. Man City forever underdogs, and Tottenham will never win. Triple Bants. That's it. That's exactly it, isn't it? That is. West Ham way is both perennially underachieving whilst also being consistently overhyped by its own fans. Yeah, I think we've said this a lot of times with all clubs, really, though, isn't it? Of that thing of going, like, what do football fans actually expect? Like, do football fans expect to win things? Well, they need to dial that down, because there's only 4 trophies to win a year, and no offence, you know, the teams that are outside the top 6 are the ones you expect to win it. Everybody else is going to be a wild card. And then someone like West Ham wins they win a European trophy, and they get their manager, and they want their manager sacked because they didn't win it by playing attractive football. They got a new manager. They sacked the manager. It's like, it's almost proof that football fans don't know what they're on about. Is it too late to buy Cascarino in Marseille? Oh, Tony Cascarino. What a striker he was. Nuno found it easier to challenge for the league at Forest than Spurs. I mean, again, he's not challenging for the league, is he? Let's be honest. Forest aren't challenging for the league. You know, if Forest are still there with 5 games to go and are mathematically able to challenge, then they're challenging. He also has a lot more money at Nottingham Forest as well. Don't win it like that. That's a fair shout, Luffy. Donadoni, good save by Sardini. Who's Nikos Papavassiliou? Oh, he was at Newcastle, wasn't he? He was the Cypriot lad at Newcastle, I think. Cascarino qualified for Ireland through his granddad before discovering she was adopted and wasn't even Irish. Amazing. Amazing. I thought the Cascarino was just literally the whole, like, I drank a Guinness, therefore I'm probably Irish enough. Donadoni makes it through the tackles, goes... Shearer, pick that one out. In off the underside of the bar. What a strike that is. I think you've just missed the days of Brian Kilcline at this point, Console. Oh, Shearer, man, look at that. Outstanding. Gives it the She-Hiles as he runs away. Mark Flats. That's a name I don't know. That. I'm pretty good with 90s football, but not Mark Flats. Shearer's filth in the database. He's quite good, isn't he? I mean, he was quite good in real life as well, given the fact he scored so many goals for a really bad Newcastle team. Like, imagine if he played at the top level throughout his entire career. Imagine how many goals he would have scored. Is it hyperbole to say he'd have scored 500? Do you know what I mean? Like just try and think about that, okay? He scored, what did he score? 300 for Newcastle? Did he get 300? $260 goals. Alright, so 260. He would have... Could he have doubled it if he played for Man U at that time? Like, instead of playing for Newcastle, who he scored a lot of goals in that team. Granted, would he have scored the same amount of goals? Would he have scored more? Possibly. I guess it's easier saying it, you know. He had his Blackburn goals, he had his Southampton goals, yeah. But I'm thinking, like, if you take that out, so, like, obviously those Southampton and Blackburn goals, of course, they were already accounted for, but instead of him leaving, you know, let him go to Newcastle for one bit, but, you know, at the time he could have gone, at some point he could have moved. Had he moved, imagine how many goals he would have got. Oh, there's Simeone at the back post. Put Stefan Arania on. Oh, Shearer blasted over the top. Let's put Di Canio on. Turned down United 3 times and Liverpool once. But yeah, but imagine if he actually did go through with it. Imagine if he'd went to United, because that's where he'd have scored the most goals. Liverpool wouldn't have played to Shearer's strengths. He would have scored more goals at United than he would have done at Liverpool, or he would have scored loads of goals in Mourinho's Chelsea, because again, that focal point, like where he had Drogba, that sort of like leading the line, that would have worked better. Liverpool wouldn't have suited Shearer in the same way that Arsenal wouldn't have suited Shearer. Weirdly, Tottenham would have suited Shearer if he was going to go to another team. Shearer in Liverpool 2003. Honestly, I don't see it. I don't see, and this is not just me, being anti-Liverpool or whatever. Like, the way United used to get the ball out wide and cross the ball in, like, get the ball to the wings. So imagine this: Beckham on one side, and the other lad, the Welsh lad, on the other side, putting crosses in for Alan Shearer. That's all you've got to imagine for many, many years. Okay, that's why it would have worked so well. At Liverpool, they'd have had what? Vladimir Schmeitzer trying to cross the ball and not even putting crosses in, because I don't think they weren't wing merchants at the time. Like, whereas you go to Spurs, had Ginola on one side, you've had Darren Anderton on the other. Like, that would have, imagine, so you talk about that works. Arsenal work the ball at the box. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked. And I think that there's certainly no McManaman. Yeah, McManaman, not really a crosser, more of a dribbler, I think. And I'll give the ball to McManaman to do the thing. It wouldn't have worked. I don't think Shearer and Owen worked for England. You're probably right, actually. You're probably right. It probably didn't. Shearer would never have worked at Barcelona. He wouldn't have worked at Barcelona, but he might have worked at Madrid, possibly, because they might have been more inclined to cross the ball to him. Christian Carambo. Oh. Shearer and Owen, too similar to play together. Yeah. As stupid as this statement's going to sound, they both want to score goals. So you can't have two players that want to score goals. Shearer and Sheringham, Shearer and Owen and Heskey, or Shearer and Ferdinand, of course. Even Shearer and Andy Cole wouldn't work too much, You've got to mix it around. Ferdinand and Shearer didn't quite work. I suppose not. Shearer and Ferguson. That's the one. Yeah, get Ferguson to do the dirty work. So here it is then. This is the moment. We're coming up against Maradona. Let's put our trusted players back in, shall we? Pirlo can come out, Albertini can go back on the bench. Can we drug test Maradona just for old time's sake? Yeah, I think he took the drugs. He basically looked at the drugs and went, "Yep, they're drugs," and he took them all. So he passed with flying colours. Zubizarreta versus Shearer. How many caps for Spain did he get? Oh, he must have got at least 100 caps, surely. He feels like someone who was there for decades. Glad to hear things are well, by the way, Dan. That everything's a bit better in your world. Welcome in, by the way, my friend. Here we go then. The big time Champions League. Maradona's not even playing. Maradona's not playing. Romario, Stoichkov, Guardiola, Ivan de la Peña. I fucking love Ivan de la Peña. Cesar Sampaio. He's not even on the bench. Jordi Cruyff is on the bench. Diego Maradona is nowhere to be seen in the Champions League. Is there a chance he's injured? Lopetegui in goal. Albert Ferrer. Rafa Nadal. Rafa Nadal's nephew, uncle, isn't it? Miguel Nadal. Begueristin. Carlos Busquets. Albert Kaledis. Well, has he broken his ankle again? Has he failed a drugs test? Either of those things are possibles, aren't they? Arsenal beat Tottenham. That was always going to raise a little smile. Is that a football thing? Is it, Dan? Begueristan. Oh, deflected by Costa Curta, but just enough. Went to watch Milan Barca Champions League final. Barcelona, some of the best strike partnerships of that era. Oh, I mean, that is like absolute bucket list stuff, right? Seeing those sorts of teams play. Oh, giving the ball away, Romario picks it up. He's a bit too good in this database. He's away. He's away. He's going to score. Oh, off the other side of the bar. Maldini gets it clear. Right, we might have to do some sort of defensive work today. Full back on support. Full back. In fact, let's go wing back actually, because we may want to try and get out and about. Where's Balakov ended up? I don't know. He's on our shortlist, so we'll have a little look at him actually. We'll see where Balakov ended up. Costa Curta with a header. Donadoni down the line to Shearer, nudged out by Nadal. I feel like this could be quite a tense match, this one. It might be a game we lose, possibly, but we will see. You have Hullet and I'm getting a tune out of Barry Horn. I mean, that sounds like a euphemism, doesn't it? Romario, one touch, goal. Goal, yes, of course. Congratulations to Zeke, by the way, on his latest transfer, signing in the January window. Excellent news. Right, we are a little bit too high there, so that's not quite working. Let's look at. We go more direct. Where's Zeep gone? He's signed with Llama, unfortunately. Yeah, we've lost him to Llama's stream. We've tried to hold him down, but yeah, it was a difficult one. We've got some chat about Nicky Papavasalou in YouTube, by the way. Brilliant in real life, scored lots of goals for Southampton, Blackburn, Newcastle. Jason says he was happy enough to see Ian Rush score plenty of goals for Liverpool when he was a kid. I mean, yeah, Ian Rush was... He knew where the goal was, didn't he? He could score a couple. I did like that Liverpool tactic back in the day of signing Ian Rush and John Aldridge and going, the tactic is you two look similar. That'll do that. That'll confuse defences. So that no one really knows which one to mark. Baresi intercepting there. Cesar Sampaio, Guardiola. Oh, we're being We're being Barcelona, aren't we? Oh, Romario should have scored that. This gegenpress isn't quite working. So I think we step up a bit and look to close down a little bit more. Lama's spending the big bucks now. He's been promoted with Watford. Really? Oh, okay. He's spending Elton John's money, is he? I know Elton John's not the chairman anymore, but let me imagine that it is the case. Boban Van Nedved, possibly. Or Savicevic. Savicevic. Stoichkov's free kick. Rossi tips it away. Donadoni's looking tired. Hullet's looking tired. Alright, free kick to us. Donadoni's looking knackered, so let's bring Stefan Arania on. That doesn't quite feel like the decision, does it? The right decision. Unless we go Brazilian box. We could bring Stefano Arania on. Boban can sort of play out there. Maybe. And Hullet's tiring as well. Evening Roadhouse, how are you, buddy? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Simone for Van Basten. Why Van Basten isn't starting, I can't remember. Maybe that's my own fault as well. She was tiring. Here's Van Basten. Can he act as fresh legs? Inside Savicevic, tackled. Maldini. Hullet. Boban. Oh, Albertini trying things from way downtown. Boban. In it goes. Savicevic's header. Albertini. Boban, Baresi. Keep the pressure on, everyone. Bit of encouragement. Right, Hullet's maybe going to have to be sacrificed, I'm afraid. Just for fresh legs. Certainly not for an ability thing. Here's Hullet. Savicevic. Finds Van Basten! We've levelled it up. There's only a few minutes to go. Hullet's properly knackered. He can't come off. We've already made too many subs. Have we got Mazzaro, the guy that scored 2 against Barcelona? I don't know, actually. Would he be in the reserves, possibly? We'll have to check that. But what we have done is we've levelled it up. And granted, our goal difference isn't huge, but it's a penalty. Oh, Boban's given away a penalty. 90th minute. Guardiola steps up. He's missed it. Yes. Guardiola's missed it. Rossi with the save. Huge. Exactly. Get fucked, Guardiola. That's what we want. Be disciplined. Time wasting on. Right, we need to just hold our shape. Nothing silly, lads. Just see this one out. It's Rossi in goal, Veg. I thought I couldn't risk Buffon at this stage, but That's a huge result. We'll take that. 1-1. Now we've got a rivalry with Barcelona, haven't we? That's what already. This is stuff we didn't have in the Pentagon. I didn't have something against an opposition, like a moment. Maradona just didn't play. He's played 8 games in the league. He's had 2 sub appearances in the Champions League. He's not injured. They just didn't. Maybe they haven't. They just didn't figure he was worth it. Fine. There is joy. There is joy. I've never, and I've not had that face for a while, have I? Balakov is still at Sporting, by the way, for those who are asking. So there you go. TJ's smile is back. I feel as though I've been missing for a while. Right. All it took was 90s Italian football to get me happy again. But eat that, Pep. I hope Romario had a go at him in the dressing room going, why did you take that? John Aldridge never gets mentioned apparently. I think you're right, Jason. I think you're right. The database has magic powers. I do like the magic powers. I do like the magic powers of the database. The Mad Scientist has given me something beautiful. Tristan, glad to see the smile pal of this database. You'll have wet dreams all over this. 100%. I keep forgetting that it's you, Tristan. This new username confuses me. I'll put Buffon in goal. I feel bad bringing Rossi off because he did save a penalty in the last few minutes, but I do feel we maybe need to rest him. Give Buffon some experience. I could do with resting Maldini as well, but I don't think I've got another left back unless there's one coming through the ranks. Yes, there is, a young Francesco Coco. So let's put him into the starting lineup, shall we? Right. Oh, Coco can't play. How come? Oh, is it because is he too young? Damn it. Right, so Maldini's going to have to play. Unless you put Stefano Ranio there instead. And just go, look, you might as well play. But you know what? There you go. Massimo Orlando can play at left back. We've got Carlo Cudicini on the bench as well, we could have. Let's rest Shearer. There's 9 goals in 10 games. And instead of putting Simeone in, let's put Di Canio up top. Because that can't be nothing bad can happen there, right? And then let's put Pirlo there. Instead of a feel of fact, you know what? I think Savicevic probably deserves a run out, actually. Because he did get the equaliser. In fact, let's put Mehmet Scholl in. He can come off the bench. Right, there we go. Little bit of a mix around. Some fresh legs, some not so fresh legs. Cremonese. We'd imagine we should be okay here. We'd imagine. Donadoni off the post. Savicevic. Costa Curta. Albertini. Orlando. Boban. Albertini. Charge down. Donadoni over the top. It's been action-packed 90 seconds, hasn't it? Look at that. Sampdoria second. Lazio third. Parma fourth. Mad. This is a good start to the season, isn't it? This Mad Albertini was already there in 94, 95. I think he'd been there for a little while as well. It's the fact that Panucci's there. Right. Savicevic can't quite slip in. Van Persie. Van Basten. Van Persie, what am I thinking of? He was a good forward. There's Van Basten. Should have scored. Oh, Tristan, I should say as well, by the way, post your work in the Discord as well, by the way, because what you're doing is very, very good. So post it in there. You can do a bit of promoting in it. If anyone asks, just say I said it's fine. Let me stick it in the old mental health bit, I reckon. Yeah, or if you've got a link for it, stick it to one of the mods as well in here, and then they'll post it up in here as well. Happy to see Van Basten's legs hold up so far. He hasn't played a game for a year and a half for you in real life. I know. Thankfully, his virtual legs are much, much better. Yeah, how are you, Mad? Hope you're good, buddy. Hope life's treating you well in Denmark. Oh, Perlo nearly scores. Dare we ask, have you already got an idea for next year? Have you got a year that you're looking to work on? All being fine, of course. Albertini. Monkids TV, welcome in, appreciate the follow. That's very kind. Joe the Dane's in as well, appreciate that, Joe. Welcome into the squad, welcome to the team. If you are new, by the way, or even if you're not new, you haven't already joined the Discord, then feel free to come and do so. Baresi makes it too. Also remember as well, the FM Show podcast is out tomorrow. It's out today if you're on Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, it's out tomorrow with interview with McKinns. McKinns joins myself, Sai, and RDF Tactics, talking about our hopes and fears for FM25. And there's a Patreon chat as well about who is the worst ever Premier League team. Is it Derby County from 07-08? Is it Swindon? Because McKinn's a Swindon fan. They conceded 100 goals. Is it this season's Southampton team? Or TJ, why do you not mention Sunderland twice? No reason. Just move on. Do we have Marcel Desailly? Yes, we do. There he is. He's having a lovely time as well. He's having a great time. Is old Marcel Desailly. He's wonderful. Wonderful player. Perlo might come off in the second half, actually. Might bring him off. Nesta maybe needs to come on as well for a bit of experience. I need to start listening to the pod during night feeds. I'm falling further and further behind. Oh, don't worry, Z. The thing is, it's not. I think technically you're all right because it's not a continuous narrative. So there's no need to really sort of like keep up with things. So there's no like sort of like running themes or jokes or whatever. But there'll be a lot of stuff. And I guess that's the problem with any content, isn't it? Like, you know, you sort of like go one or two episodes behind and it's like, oh, that's me gone. Like I'll come back. I'll just listen to whatever I can listen to. Monkeys has joined the Discord. Appreciate that, my friend. Very kind. I say welcome into the squad. Oh no, we can see Enrico Chiesa has scored for Cremonese. It's a bit of a concern. There's Baresi covering. But where's everyone else? Costa Curta's miles out of position. Baresi's got 2 to deal with, and then yeah, there's 2 here as well. You just need to get your body in the way there. It's not a great bit of defending, is it? Do we maybe consider bringing Desai off 6.9 and in the yellow card? Maybe. You met Desai in Fulham after a night out in 1999. He's a really funny guy. I like that. That sounds cool. I like the fact that Desai is funny. I don't know why I like it, but I do. Oh no. Baresi misses it. Chiesa's gone through. Nicolini 2-1. Oh dear. Uh-oh. We've got a bit of a problem now. We have got a problem. Shearer's not fit. Not fit to come on. Let's put... I'm going to put DeCanio on up top. This might not be the right way of doing things. In fact, it probably isn't. In fact, it clearly isn't, but... Let's put Simone on there. But let's consider... DeCanio for Boban and Scholl. Right. Let's see. This is made by Enrico Chiesa, this one. Nicolini. Look how many bodies he goes past. Probably off to sleep. Got exams tomorrow. No, you take it easy, man, kids. You take it easy. Good luck with the exams tomorrow. Hope they go well. Hope they go well for you. Yeah, appreciate you being part of the team. Let's go a bit more direct, shall we? We've been playing for the set players. Jill Dane, appreciate the warm welcome. First time watching. Really excited about the old databases. I was literally losing the very last bit of motivation I had to play FM24. Join the club. We're all there a little bit, aren't we? I feel like a little kid again. The nostalgia of all these old heroes of mine. So cool. I guess a huge thank you to the Mad Scientist as well. Or the biggest of thank yous for the Mad Scientist. That's the guy who's made all of our dreams come true. And hasn't he just? Hasn't he just? Oh dear. Chiesa makes it 3-1. And we have a big problem now. Yeah, we've got a problem. We've got a big, big problem. The maddest of all scientists. The scientist of all mad people. We should be fine against Cremonese. I know. The demise has happened already. Busiest Baron's in. Welcome. Well, we're not going to do an unbeaten season then. Let's think about that. Let's look at it that way, right? Okay. This is proof that we can't just you can't presume in this database, can you? You can't. Cremonese moved up to 12th as well. Oh dear, everyone. Albertini launches it over the top. Savicevic has just moved out of the way though, that's the problem. Sadly they've given up, haven't they? Three-one down. Nothing we can do. Nice intercepted. Oh no. Oh. Oh. Enrico Chiesa makes it 4. Enrico Chiesa is quite a good player, isn't he? We should maybe keep our eyes out on him. Albertini and Baresi getting each other's way. He's not bad, that lad. He's not, is he? He's quite good. I think we're allowed to be angry there. Pirlo's. Pirlo's frustrated, as he should be. Jameson faces inquest. I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? I'm gonna be hounded out of the job now. Rip everything up, start again. Okay, so maybe resting Maldini is not the best idea. Buffon in goal was a bit of a concern. Hullet, Nedved, Shearer, all coming back. Hopefully, when's our next match? 13 days. So everyone's going to get rested. We'll come back and they'll all be fine. But yeah, not good. That's a poor result. It's a very poor result. It's a good result if you're a Cremonese fan, obviously, but if you're part of the Rossoneri, not great. Not a good one. You know? Even Tuny, how are we, buddy? Welcome. Same team, same. Yeah, believe it or not, yeah, 2 streams in, we're still at the same team. It genuinely is that surprising. Gascoigne there, man. Can't blame me, wasn't here. I mean, you say that, we don't know. We don't know. Maybe you were there and just weren't mentioning. And we've already won a cup. That's true. We have, yeah. We've won almost as many things with AC Milan as we have with everybody else. If we were doing the Pentagon, I would have suggested stream since we moved command. Yeah, and it would have been fair. It would have been completely fair. You know, as much as I don't want to agree, it is true. It is true. Right, they just want an extra coach. So let's just get a coach in, shall we? Of any description. Okay, facing Brescia. Let's not talk about whether or not Brescia should be a relatively easy match or not, because there's no easy matches in Italy, as we've worked out. There is no easy games in football. Yeah. To be fair, if you had Shearer and Maldini, even you would have won the African Champions League. I reckon I'd have had a good chance. I reckon it might have taken me 2 goals to do it, but yeah, we'd have got there. Imagine if we didn't, though. Imagine if even with Shearer, Hullet and Van Basten and Maldini, we still came runners up. No George Weah, no, he'd just gone back. Well, here's the thing, had he gone back to PSG, or is he not left PSG? I don't think he's joined from PSG at this point, because he's still there in the game. So presumably he moves a little bit later. So when does he go? Because I always thought he was around about this time. Maybe was it the following season? Was it? Hull it out to Nedved. Baresi. Nedved, there's Baresi again. Albertini. Shearer comes deep for the ball. Finds Donadoni, who finds Van Basten. And it's 1-0. That's the way we play. Pretty sure he joined in Milan in 95. Could have been in the summer. That would, yeah. So, yeah, he'd join upcoming. So, yeah, so transfer's not. I mean, the mad scientist has really been... He's let himself down a little bit, hasn't he? No future transfers. Which would obviously make the game unplayable, so... Before anybody sits there and goes, but maybe we should do that. Van Basten blocked. Abandon the save, no point now, literally unplayable. You know what, there is that, isn't it? Costa Curta with a header. There is some people that like that pass, bro, you're right. And well, you know, there's no realism now. You didn't buy the right players that were bought at the actual clubs at the actual time, so therefore I would like you to stop playing this save now, please, thank you. And those people would be right as well. I've been playing the game since Championship Manager 92-93. Blah, 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 blah. Therefore, my opinion counts more than everybody else's. Blah, 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 blah. We need Peter Schmeichel in the goals, knowing how TJ likes to make the challenges more challenging. Schmeichel would be reasonable, wouldn't he, in nets? Van Basten makes it 3. Those people need to remember it's a video game. It's not Ruggiero. It's not. It's more than that. We've ruined their Christmas. We've ruined their birthdays. We've ruined all of 2025 for them. Because a game was delayed. How could SI do this to these people? Somebody think of them. And somebody think of the creators as well. You know, it's a video game and Albano says different. And that's why you're in my team. But I have been playing the game since Champ Manager Italia, therefore I can factually say that SI have always got Aston Villa wrong and all their players should have 200 CA. See, there we go. There we go. Sports Interactive's Maggio has got a lot to answer for. Well, he's paid, isn't he? You know what I mean? This is the problem. Bro, I only value realism. This I use the sensible team talks and player talks, and they always work. Well, I always use 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress because that's the most sensible, obvious system that everybody uses. And I only buy Wonder Kids because that's what happens in real world. Tuny's quit MLS, got a job at Levante, battle to keep them up. That literally sums up MLS, doesn't it? Going, I would rather go to relegation battle than deal with MLS for any more than I have to. Thought all of you SI lover creators were paid. We are. We get so much money from SI to do this, and that's why I'll never ever say anything negative. You know, I won't speak my mind. If you don't play full matches, you aren't a real manager. Oh, he's a fucking nut job as well, isn't he? Yeah, there's a whole. There's a lot of this industry that feels very much like comedy. Do you know what I mean? Just like, it's like, oh god, the idiots are everywhere. The new transfer on MLS next season just to add to the FM confusion. It might make it easier though, mightn't it? Because it might be a case of you can actually buy players next season. So it'll then, in a sense, become more straightforward. Because you just bypass all the other bits and just buy players. And I'm sure that rule's brought in to absolutely benefit the league and not benefit Man City. You know, Who plays MLS anyway? Someone does. Someone does. All those people that like women's football. Am I right? Of course, I said massively tongue-in-cheek. People like women's football like Estonian football. Or actually, no, they don't. They hate Estonian football. You can only like one type of football, and that's it. Shearer makes it 4 or 5. Makes it 5. I like, I played FM since it was a text file run on Doom 1. The only way to play it in 2D was the retro skin. Yeah. I played, my first Football Manager was play by mail, so you can all fuck off, right? There. I'm the oldest, I'm the best, I know most about Football Manager than anybody's ever known ever. So therefore my opinion is more relevant. Yeah. Play by mail was fun. It was, but it was also mental, wasn't it? Absolutely mental. Sellotape and coins to a letter, and then posting it off, and then ringing someone's house to ask if you could buy Ian Taylor from them. Weird. Really weird. Really, really weird. Fiorentina has Batagol. It isn't even a discussion. Yeah, that's... You know what? I would agree with Pars Pro here at this point. Arsenal don't have Bergkamp, and they don't have Henry. They don't have David Platt. They don't have Arsene Wenger. You're going to Fiorentina, aren't you? Really, to be honest. Look, Dan, you know me. I would love that Arsenal moment of, Bergkamp and Henry, Vieira, Petit. I'm all over that. I love Wenger. I think he's superb. But if it was a choice of not having Bergkamp or having Batagol, it's Batagol all the way, isn't it? I'm 53. I played the original Football Manager on a Spectrum, so I'm the GOAT here. Oh, that reminds me, actually, I need to get in touch with Kevin Toms and try and get him on the podcast. Yeah, we all agree with TJ. Batagol over Bergkamp, despite how much Bergkamp is the GOAT. I mean, see, but Bergkamp's not even there though. Bergkamp's not at Arsenal, so it's Batagol over Ian Wright, and Ian Wright is a hell of a player, by the way. So don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna say that Ian Wright's not, but Ian Wright is not Gabriel Batistuta. And also, like, in a database like this, do you just manage a team that you can manage normally? Like, Batagol and Ian Wright. Bring Ian Wright to Italy. That's what you want to do. Yeah. Yeah, I don't normally do this because obviously it takes a lot of time, but look, there's the Fiorentina side. Batistuta, Francesco Baiano, Flacky, who's that? Ruben da Silva, Rui Costa, Vergini, Zanetti, Lupi, Stefano Pioli, Nicola Binci, Marcio Santos, Luca Marchigiani, Toldo. Yeah, that's brilliant. And then Arsenal does not have those players in it. I mean, they're good, don't get me wrong, but where's Arsenal got? Arsenal, David Seaman, Vince Bartram, Andy Linnigan. I know I'm slightly doing some of that for comedic effect. David Hillier, Steve Morrow, Eddie McGoldrick, Stefan Schwartz, who went on to play for Sunderland, John Jensen, Ray Parler, Paul Merson, Robert Perez. Robert Perez was there. That feels like an interest. He must have been bought in. There's no way he was there. They've bought him during the game, yeah. Right, he wasn't there originally. Ian Wright, Alan Smith and Kevin Campbell, God rest his soul. It's a no-brainer. In it. It's a no-brainer. Can't understand how a man like Wenger can be such a genius, then retire and suggest we should kick the ball instead of throw-ins. I think that whatever. I mean, to be fair, is it any worse than some of the other suggestions that have come out? Really? Is it? I don't know. All these... Heading's going to end up getting banned eventually. So maybe we just try and change it now. I prefer Fiorentina when they had the ultra-professional goal machine Batistuta and the mercurial batshit crazy Edmundo playing together. Edmundo, the animal. We had a look at him, didn't we? Is he on the shortlist? I don't think he is, but we did have a look at him. And he was beastly. Edmundo. There he is. That's a beastly forward, isn't it? John Jensen was voted Arsenal's worst ever player. Worst ever player? I mean, that is... They had Christopher Ray. I've just said that they had Vince Bartram, you know. I mean, John Jensen wasn't the worst ever player, surely. Make the ball Velcro, make all players wear Velcro hats, problem solved. Yeah, I mean, look, I genuinely think that they will outlaw heading eventually. The whole throw-ins rather than kick-ins, who cares? Who do we care? Is it another thing? I don't know. Jeremy Aliadier is being overlooked. Francis Jeffers. Igor Stepanov. Igor Stepanov was bad. Ozil was bad for Arsenal. Was Ozil bad for Arsenal, or did this go back to? No, it doesn't really go back to what we said earlier, is it? Because Ozil should have fit in the Arsenal team. Does it go back to the expectation versus reality, essentially? Because everyone expected Ozil to be incredible, and they spent so much money. Is that the problem? Like, he was never going to live up to being the guy to change everything. It's mad calling Ozil the worst player for Arsenal when Willian existed. Yeah. Or Raheem Sterling. What is it with Arsenal as well, by the way, that Arsenal insist on buying 30-odd-year-old players from Chelsea every single window? Like, oh, should we make sure we buy someone from Chelsea who's going to be a little bit too old for them? Yeah, well, let's do that, shall we? Let's make sure we've done that, because we don't want to, you know, not buy a 30-odd-year-old from Chelsea. Junichi Inamoto, the man that called the T-shirt. Again, not the worst ever Arsenal player. We'll sign Mudryk for them in 10 years' time. Yeah, of course you will. Of course you will. Mustafi. I'd forgotten all about him. John Jensen was signed as a goal-scoring midfielder thanks to one goal. Was never a goal-scoring midfielder. Never. And I think he scored one goal for Arsenal, didn't he? Is that right? Worst ever Arsenal player, Kim Kallstrom. Oh, now you know what? That's a shout. That is a shout. That is a shout. Rumour has it they're trying to sign Drogba. How about the left back they got from Schalke? Who was that? Okay, And this is where my lack of modern football knowledge is coming as potentially going to get me unstuck here. Oh, Georgie Hadji's through, just over the top. Walking away, Kallstrom's a mic drop. Kallstrom is a mic drop. Kallstrom is a big one. Kolasinac. He was the one that... Wasn't he the one that fought off a mugger? Is that right? Oh, Guillermo Amor makes it 1-0. Yeah, he's the kind of player that Arsenal needed 3 of, but they never really bought enough of them. Lucas Perez from Deportivo. I don't even remember this guy. Pepe deserves a mention for the cost to output. Yeah, that was extortionate, wasn't it? 70 odd million, I think it was, wasn't it? Again, maybe doesn't go into the worst ever signings, but Arshavin didn't really do enough either, did he? But then again, guess what was he expected to do? Maybe give Pepe a few more years, he's going to be all right any time now. Arshavin started like thunder. 4 goals against Liverpool, then nothing. Has Arshavin been sponsored by Manscaped? Arshavin. Use code ARSE. Right, 1-0 down against Barcelona. Anderlecht are winning. Didn't Arsenal sign Clive Allen for a big fee? Never paid him. Did they? Former Tottenham legend Clive Allen. I'm sure Tottenham would have made a big deal about that, wouldn't they? Matteo Debuchy. He's the one that went to Newcastle, isn't he? Or the other way around? Did he come from Newcastle? He signed from Newcastle, didn't he? Tottenham famously let bygones be bygones on that front. They all love Sol Campbell after all. Yeah, it was a race thing with Sol Campbell apparently. Nothing to do with the fact that he crossed the border. Oh my God, he played for another team. How dare he? The clip I put in Discord was class. Oh, the advert? Yeah, it's mint, isn't it? It's so good. I showed it to Mrs. J. She was howling. She was just like, that's fucking brilliant, that. I was like, yeah, that's class. Glenn Helder. Oh, Glenn Helder. Now we're getting into the levels of shit players. This is what we've come for. This is what you played for, Glenn Helder. We're playing Fodger. Let's put Nesta in for a bit. Jimmy Carter. Former American President Jimmy Carter. I think there's some levels of players where like you go, who? And like that says it all, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like, I've not heard of this guy, I don't know who you mean. Shira Boban has a go. A Maori Bischoff. He was the shit. Is he named after the spread? Oh, ball's played through there. Shearer picks it up. Oh, what on earth's Nedved done there? He's put it in the roof. Not the roof of the net, the roof. I must admit, if we were trying to list out the amount of bad Sunderland players that have been signed, we could be here for a long time. we have bought some rubbish. Oh, I would say pretty much most transfers between 2002 to 2023, maybe. Jack Rodwell. I'm still annoyed that Torre Andre Flo didn't work out. Like, we clearly bought him because we went, oh, Niall Quinn's tall. Torre Andre Flo's tall. That should work. No, didn't. We signed Milton Nunes, Tyson Nunes, because he scored loads of goals in... Where did he score goals? Was it like Venezuela or something? And we bought him, and he was like this 5'4" or something. Didn't really connect. Didn't do well. Awful. Not a thing. El Hadj Diouf was the worst Liverpool signing. I think you're missing out players like Andre Voronin and Andy Carroll for Liverpool. Paul Konchesky. Stuart Downing, that's a good one, yeah. Lilian Las Londes. God, I'd forgotten about him. I'd forgotten about Lilian Las Londes. Sean Dundee's a stinker as well. What about Joe Allen, the Welsh Xavi? Salif Zhao. Torre Andre Flo's cousin of my local side, Havard Flo, also incredible goal scorer. We sorted Werder Bremen. Anthony Letalek. Yeah, we bought some bad ones. We bought Patrick Mboma. Do you remember him? 33. Cameroonian midfielder. Striker, possible striker, I think he was. Maybe midfielder. I thought he was a midfielder personally. Scored goals for fun in the J League, but blasties. Scored absolute blasties. Always hitting 30-yarders, 40-yarders. Bang, 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 bang. Came to Sunderland. He wasn't allowed to shoot from that far out. Everyone was just like, no, not having that. You can't do it. I'm sure he went to Serie A for a little bit. Fabio Barini was brilliant at Sunderland when he was on loan. Unfortunately, we agreed to buy him outright. And that's when it went wrong for Barini at Sunderland. When he was a loan player, superb. Excellent. We're talking Oleg Luzhny back in the day there for Arsenal. That's a good shout. Lauren, they can't have Lauren there as one of the bad players. Lauren was brilliant. Christopher Ray, definitely. Jeremy Adelaide, definitely. Mkhitaryan, Yaya Sanogo. Shamak. I've forgotten Shamak. Loved Bomber. My mate refused to believe he wasn't very good. Yeah, same. Absolutely, because I used to watch Transworld Sport, and he was mint. And I remember saying to my mate, going, we've just signed Patrick and Bomber, and he just scores blasties. And then we looked at him and went, has he got a twin? Is it someone else with the same name? Maybe? No. That's really confusing. I don't get it. Costa Curta, what about that? Great strike. Benteke for 30 million. Iago Aspas is an interesting one, yeah. Yeah, it looks great in Spain. Dreadful at Liverpool. Yeah, I'm not having Lauren as a bad Arsenal signing at all. You don't get to move to Portsmouth. And I'll tell you, it was not a bad signing for Sunderland. Darren Bent was a hell of a signing. But if we're looking at bad signings, who else have we got bad signings for Sunderland? Bad ones. Oh. I can't look past Jack Rodwell. The beach ball was the best signing we ever had. Yeah, I think so. I think it was. Eduardo, what might have been. Eduardo is shades of Luke Nillis at Villa. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Luke Nillis hadn't broken his leg, what could he have done at Villa? That would have been incredible to see. Speaking of Portsmouth, Carnu became a legend there. Carnu was a legend before he got to Portsmouth. He was Arsenal legend, Ajax legend, Inter Milan legend. Naby Keita for 55 million quid. Robinho for Man City. That's not a dreadful signing, is it? Maybe not. Certainly not the worst signing Man City's ever made. Titus Bramble at Liverpool. Again, I'm not having that as the worst. To Newcastle, I'm not having that as the worst signing. Might not have been very good. Might not have been as good as you expected, but there's definitely been worse signings, surely. Bramble at Sunderland. Oh, okay. kind of trying to ignore that bit. Any nonsensical move we made for just Man United players for no reason. I always get like Sunderland fans are kind of. I think Sunderland fans quite like the idea of like the Johnny Evans and the John O'Shea and Wes Brown. Actually, Wes Brown I think is the one that probably we'll maybe accept wasn't quite as good. Kieran Richardson sort of did just enough to be classed as alright. Seb Larson was pretty good. I like Seb Larson. Loved Craig Gordon when we had Craig Gordon. Loved that man. Who else would we put in the stinker category? Quite a lot of the League One players I think would go in there. A lot of the alleged strikers we bought over the last few years who just don't score goals. Josie Altidore. Yeah, maybe. Altidore didn't quite... I think that's the problem. Like a lot of players that we bought just didn't quite do it. They were all good players, or they had the potential to be good players. Apart from Papa Gilabogi, yes. Yeah, I forgot about him. They played badly against Newcastle. Yeah, not all the time. I remember we certainly had a few games where we were pretty good against Newcastle, but many games in a row. Jermaine Defoe used to like playing against Newcastle. Didier and Dong. Yeah, he was a bit as well. Luke Steele wasn't a good goalkeeper. But then you sort of like look through you look at and like we end up with like mad players like Jan Villa and who was the other defender? Someone else who was quite good. I forget what he's called. He was sort of like in one of the relegation era. Good stop. Asamoah Gyan. John Mensah. Was that him? Who was he the big lad that played at the back who was quite handy? All your hopes and dreams in John Stead. Oh yeah, John Stead. Oh dear. Used to think Defoe had circled Newcastle Sunderland game on his calendar. He always showed up for them. Oh, he was brilliant. Defoe was superb. I mentioned, didn't I? I mentioned the story when we went to watch WWE Newcastle Arena, and WWE had decided to bring Jermaine Defoe out as the special guest timekeeper, and it was the week after he'd scored the winner against Newcastle. So of course everyone booed him. It's just like, it was class. Oh, Tino gets a header in. Suddenly used to sign players who were amazing on FM and turned out to be shit. We did. We had Billy Jones for years. And I loved Billy Jones, one of my favourite FM players ever. But we signed him. And we had Andy Reid as well. And we had Aidan McGady. He might have been. He could possibly go on the list of. Oh, but does he? No, he doesn't. Does he? Aidan's got to be one of the good ones. Mad Scientist overpowered Palmer, hasn't he? Oh, Simone's missed it. Put out for a throw-in. How's he done that? Wasn't there an African player who fooled someone to sign him into thinking he was George Weah's cousin? Yes, there was. Yeah, it was at Southampton. It was Graham Souness who got tricked into it, and then he ended up playing for Blythe Spartans. Ali Dyer, that was the lad. Yeah, he went to Northumbria Uni and did business management and signed for Blythe Spartans. Played for them for a little bit. He wasn't even very good at that level either. Oh, Sprayers nearly scored again. Okay. We know our Sprayer's good in the air, so we need to maybe stop him. How do we stop those crosses coming in? Let's stop the crosses. Stop the crosses coming in. That's how you do it. Right, drop off a bit as well then maybe, so they're not going to cross from deep, are they? Hulk can come back in. And Desai for Nesta. Because I'd forgotten that Desai was Nesta was still playing. Van Basten can come on as well. Hope there's a semester purely centered around doing research for making business purchases. Yeah, today's seminar is due diligence. Ali, have you got anything to add to this? No. Not a thing. We're discussing the theory of buyer beware today. Di Canio played for an AC Milan Legends team at Newcastle a month or so after his knee slide derby. That went down well. Yeah, Di Canio was a mad one, wasn't it? Mutual friends gained 600 subs today. Andre Voronin wasn't very good. Intercepted, that'll do. Donadoni tries to get down the wing. Is he getting down the wing? No, he's not. Thomas Brolin's in there getting the tackles in. Oh no, sprays through. Oh! Musterman, hang on. Not Musterman, Mad Scientist. What have you done? Your team's a little bit overpowered here, isn't it? Look at this. What a surprise. Palmer opening us up. Zola, great ball over the top. And Asprea's got the run on Baresi and Maldini. Tino does it. I can't get mad. Tino's a great player. Brolin at Leeds, talk about awful purchases. Yeah, that one didn't work out at all, did it? Zola, Tino and Brolin is pretty impressive. Whipped away. Van Basten keeps it. Just about. Loses it. Asprea's through. Oh, should have had his hat-trick. Oh, we are getting turned over here, aren't we? Right, De Canio's going on for Donadoni. And Lentini. Lentini for Nedved. Crack Attack, how are we doing, buddy? Nice to see you, my friend. Are you well? Pleasure having you in. Hope life's treating you good. Come on, boys. Get your foot in. Don't let Aspria get a hat-trick. He's going to get a hat-trick, isn't he? He is. Higher. Get those balls in. Let's go wide. We're just going to do everything, really. Push it up. Higher. That's the thing. Dropping off's caused the problems, I think. Maybe. I mean, it's all guesswork at this point, isn't it? Setting up for the trip. Nice. Where you off to? Aspria's hat-trick against Barcelona. Is that for Newcastle in the Champions League? Yeah. That was very, very good. That was ridiculous. That was the night Oasis played the Arena. So you had Oasis at the Arena, Newcastle at the stadium. Liam came out in a long sleeve Newcastle top that night as well. Oh, Thailand for a fitness camp. Cool. That sounds alright. That sounds very good, actually. I mean, this is going to be first league defeat of the season. Right, Parma have done us. No, second league defeat of the season because we lost against Cremonese, didn't we? Tried to blank that from my memory. And a defeat to Barcelona. The wheels are coming off, everyone. The wheels are coming off. I think it's time to abandon everything. Anderlecht away, Lazio away, Sampdoria away. Oh, no, Sampdoria at home, sorry. Ooh. Stefano Ranio wants to go on loan. Have some playing time. I don't want to sell it to Real Madrid, put it that way. Right, that wasn't fun. Players are tired. Players need resting. So Coco at left back. Nedved needs resting, so we can put Savicevic in. Shearer needs resting. Simone can go in. Stefano Ranio wants to play. Let's put him at right back. Yeah. I'm guessing realistic new gens are active, are they? I don't know. Mad Scientist to be the guy who'd be able to tell you how he set it up. Knowing Mad, probably. There's probably, actual new gens will drop in due course, but I don't know how he does all this. Right, they don't want Simone starting, so let's maybe consider starting Pirlo up top. Or maybe Di Canio. Actually, you know what? Lentini's got some good dribbling abilities. Let's put him in for Donadoni. There's Mazzaro. Oh, he's out on loan at Lazio. That's what we're talking about, yeah. New gens are a separate mod. Mr. Tinney's done that. Oh, okay. Garley wants to leave. Okay, fine. Right, are we still top of the league at this point? We are, but we're level on points with Fiorentina, and they've played a game less. Oh no, they've played a game more. We've got a game in hand. Oh, that's handy. Literally. That's good. That helps us. Right, let's see how we go on with this, shall we? Away to Anderlecht. Away to Anderlecht. Champions League. Couple of players out there that maybe it's a bit of a we're mixing up a little bit. John Bosman is starting. Remember what John Mark Bosman did? Created the Bosman transfer rule. So because of this guy, this is why free transfers and end of season contracts happened. We're playing against him. He ruined football. He didn't. He allowed freedom of movement. What it did was it meant that football clubs had to start looking at themselves like businesses rather than just dafties not really knowing what they're doing. He ruined football for smaller clubs outside the big five leagues. I mean, you could argue TV did that as well. I guess there's arguments 2 and 4 everything, isn't there? But as we said earlier on in the in the Discord, any rule change essentially is for the big boys, isn't it? So, you know, there's no rule change, no rule changes ever put in place to benefit the smaller clubs. Do you know what I mean? Clubs should definitely have the power to keep players after their contracts expired. Very fair and reasonable. Yeah, it feels very. It's a bit like. I mean, even prisons let players out, let people out after their contracts are expired, haven't they? Got the wrong Bosman. The Bosman is the Dutch striker ex-Ajax. One of the Bosman rules, a Belgian player. That's him, isn't it? Oh, sorry, no, it's John Mark Bosman, I thought. Sorry. You're right, Pino. I stand corrected. It was still a Bosman who did it, though. It was definitely John Mark Bosman. I think what I've done is I've seen Bosman, I've seen Anderlecht, and I went, that's Belgium? Yeah. That'll be the one. Perlo picks it up, slides it in for Van Basten. Makes it 2. Niners Palmer would have done 85% of their opponents. 6-6 squad mad. Yeah. That Palmer side was good, wasn't it? I don't feel too bad for losing to them, but we are going to have to make sure that we really, really don't lose any more games, because if we have to win everything... Oh, what a miss from Bosman. Wasn't all the Bosman rule did for my club, AGF. We lost 6 of our best players, 5 human national team players without getting a penny. Do you know how the Danish contracts were put together back then? Had a lot of blowback in other areas, unintended. But I guess, you know, like clubs were given a lot of warning about this, though, wasn't it? It wasn't like it was just sprung upon them and went, right at the end of the season, all your players can leave. So... But yeah, I do get it. If I'm out of contract, I'm not staying at a football club. Like, you know, if I had a contract at work, you know, and you're in a 1-year fixed contract, you don't just stay beyond that 1 year, do you? Just for the sake of it. I know my example of being released from prison is a bit extreme, but also similar. Yeah. Yeah, 10-year prison sentence, and it's like, well, how come I'm still here 15 years later? Right, you know, it's like, well, I know technically we had you in for 10, but you know, no, society hasn't asked for you back and made a reasonable fee, so you're staying. So welcome in, Dominator. Welcome. Appreciate the raid. Very kind. How's your stream? Welcome, Raiders. We're doing a bit of retro FM at this point, so we've got some 90s Italian football on the go. And we're AC Milan. We've just conceded there. Stream was fine. Hope it's going well as well. Yeah, no, good, thank you. Aunt Furious is here. Welcome, Aunt Furious. Not seen you around for a while, buddy. Hope you're good. Yeah, ours is going pretty well, thank you, Dominator. Not too bad at all. We're having a bit of chill, bit of fun. It might change in a second though, because it's now 3-2 and we're 3-0 up. That's 2 goals in a couple of minutes. So, yeah, interesting. And now I've upset everybody, because that's what you do in it. In these sorts of situations, you anger people. It's 3-3. It's not. Oh, I had to stop playing FM. It was taking up the same amount of time. I had to wanted to write again. Oh, mate. Totally get it. Totally get it. It is good to see you again, though, genuinely. Hope life's treating you well. I'm having to try and, like, buy time back as well for things. It's tough. It's tough, man. Like, trying to get things set up and being like, right, I've got this for FM, I've got this for podcasts, I've got this for life, you know, all these things you try and fit in. It's not easy. It's not easy. Nice to hear the dulcet tones once more. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, on. That's it. Arn Furious, one of the OGs. Van Basten gets his fourth. Right, he's let us off the hook here, hasn't he? So, Van Basten and Perlo up top. Marco Simone's coming on. Shearer's being rested. Van Basten's got 4 and he missed a penalty. So, should have had 5, really. Should have had. Savicevic whips the corner in. Rude makes it 6. Jason says they did have Shakhtar a few years ago. UEFA told them they had less than a month to sell all their players. Lost Solomon to Fulham on a free, along with players on a free. But was that not the war? That was the war, wasn't it? I think that's a slightly different ruling. It's a crazy game to drop into. There's a little bit. This is the joys of the 90s database, I think, on, to be honest. So we're lots of good things happening. There's Mark de Griezer. Who remembers him? Oh, great hit. Yeah, things go well, and then they go, whoa, let's just, go weird for a little bit. So Mehmet Scholl can come on, and I think that Paolo Di Canio deserves a run out. He can't. Do we see Mehmet Scholl or do we see Paolo Di Canio? I think we see Paolo Di Canio. The names of the team sheet is mad, isn't it? Absolutely mad. We've got a 16-year-old Buffon on the bench we bought from Parma. We've got Nesta in the starting lineup. We've got on loan from Lazio. We've brought Perlo from Juve as a child. He's 15. We bought Shearer from Blackburn. We bought Pavel Nedved as well. So we've had fun. We've had fun. We are still top of Serie A, believe it or not, as well. The expectations is to win everything. The board want us to win the Coppa Italia, Serie A, and the Champions League. No pressure there, then, of course. So we have qualified, and it gets into the knockout stages now. So, as you see, 10 games in, 24 points. We've lost 2 games. Sad. Cremonese beat us 4-1. Enrico Chiesa got 2 goals. And then we've just been done by Parma 2-1 with Faustino Asprilla just in the form of his life, doing absolute bits. Did us over. So we've got Lazio next, then we've got Sampdoria, then Juventus. So that'll finish November off. And I'll probably finish me off, to be honest, at that point. Obviously Milan in the 90s, yeah, it couldn't be anything else, could it really? To be honest. So, yeah, we're having fun. We're having a good time, which is something we've not done for a while. We went through sort of like periods where we're going, let's just make this ridiculously difficult challenge and get through it, because that'll be fun, won't it? And it's not fun, really. But we decided eventually we had to just make something that was just fun. Because there's not long of FM24 left, and it's taken a long, long time. FM24. Scout report on Teddy Sheringham. Yeah, I was looking at Sheringham before I bought Shearer. So I had these were my list of players that I looked at as my strikers. So Maradona went to Barcelona on a free, so we couldn't get him, sadly. We looked at Toto Scalacci, God rest his soul. He was an option. We looked at Alan Boksic. Again, would have been great, but also would have classed as no, it doesn't class as non-EU actually. But thought Boksic or Shearer. Shearer's a better option. Teddy Sheringham was a bit expensive. We were going at $8 million to start with, so we probably couldn't afford Sheringham. But I thought he would have been great. But him and Van Basten didn't quite have enough legs to get me through the season. Sir Les Ferdinand was on the list. Again, thought that was maybe a good player to think about. Ronaldo doesn't want to join us. That's R9 Ronaldo, developing quite nicely. He didn't want to come. He will eventually. Henrik Larsson was another option there. Currently at Feyenoord. He's not gone to Celtic yet. Del Piero. He wasn't fussed about leaving either. I mean, he looks reasonable, doesn't he? Looks fine. Hernan Crespo over at River Plate. Not quite old enough to bring through yet, but certainly a bit of potential. Then there's Christian Vieri was the other option we thought we'd maybe go for. 21 years old. 17 off the ball, 19 bravery. 16 teamwork. 8 goals in 12 games. Thierry Henry at Monaco. Looks fine. Looks reasonable. Sheringham would have done well in Italy. Oh, Sheringham would have been brilliant in Italy. Andy Cole was the other guy we looked at, but Newcastle, he wasn't interested in leaving Newcastle. 17 for acceleration, 16 finishing. I thought him and Van Basten would have been a good partnership. And then Kevin Phillips, but unfortunately he's just signed for Watford, so sadly we can't get Super Kev out to the San Siro just yet. But there is time. There's plenty of time. Oh, Yuri Zorkaev as well. And Pepe Signore. Obviously, Cavino. Marco Gabbiadini's at Derby, so, and he sounds Italian, so might get him out there at some point. Giovanni Stropper wants to go out on loan. That's fine. I like the fact we've got Christian Panucci as well at fullback, because he was brilliant. Right, so away to Lazio. Oh dear, here we go. Let's get everyone back in, shall we? Nedved still needs resting. Is Maldini back? Yes, he is. Stefano Ragno can come back out. Panucci can go in. Donadoni's back. Costa Curta. I do put Costa Curta back in for Panucci. Or for Desai. Actually, I tell you what, let's put Desai in midfield with Hullet. Costa Curta can go at centre back. Perlo can come back out for Shearer. Left side, Lentini? Let's go Lentini, shall we? That's what I got there. Panucci, Costa Curta, Baresi, Maldini, Donadoni, Desai, Hullet, Lentini, Shearer, Van Basten. That should be a good match against Lazio, shouldn't it? George, welcome in, buddy. That team is filthy, isn't it? Isn't it? You've got to be happy with that. And the Lazio team: Marcus Gianni, Paolo Negro, Gianluca Festa, Jose Chamot, Giuseppe Favali, Roberto Bacchi, Gascoigne, Di Matteo, Diego Fuser, Signori, and Casaraghi, Pierluigi Casaraghi. On the bench: Thomas Doll, Venturin, Mazzaro, Boksic, Marco Di Vaio, Fernando Orsi, Daniele Adani. Like, Italian football in the 90s, come on. There's no way. I struggle to find any era of football that is better than this. How's Cafu looking? Cafu's looking great. I think he's at Sao Paulo, I think. Jason, so yeah, he's very, very young. Christian Vieri, dominator. Thomas Doll had a legendary presser meltdown as a manager in Germany when he was managing Dortmund. Did he? I like that. I do like meltdowns. They're good. Zeep, Italian football in the mid-90s was incredible. It really was. Really was. And all that happened was Italian football did Italy things. And it all came crashing down. Donadoni, Panucci, Costa Curta has a bit of a nosy around. Baresi out to Maldini. Maldini gives the ball away. Casaraghi. Oh, Who's to blame there? Maldini or Baresi? I mean, what a finish from Casaraghi, though. Oh dear. Hope Mads added James Richardson to the press pool. Oh, if he hasn't, he's missed a trick, hasn't he? James Richardson, Channel 4. Oh, we've that's a worry. Oh, we're gonna get sacked at Milan, aren't we? I feel like it's gonna happen. Van Basten's getting frustrated. Maldini's tired. Panucci's anxious. Oh. The best database to get sacked in, go to another team filled with legends. Fair comment, actually, Muster Man, yeah. That is a fair comment. There's technically no bad teams, is there, really? You need Gillespie. Keith Gillespie, yeah. Oh, what? Alan Boksic closing out. What are our defenders playing at? I mean, I have picked the most competitive league to manage it, haven't I? Right, Lentini's not having a great time. Put Savicevic on. Shamot, Signori's away. This is going to end badly. Boksic makes it 2-0. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying a word. I'm not saying a word. Hullett's not interested. So we're now 2 points behind Lazio, but we do have a game in hand. Simone off the crossbar. Literally, they're just lining up, aren't they? Like. Ironically, we've still got one of the highest goal differences in the league, and we've had a couple of absolute stinking results. But we can't. I mean, look, this is a Lazio team and a half, isn't it? Though. Gonna get away for a couple of hours sleep. Catch you next time. Yeah, no worries, Zeep. You good? Take it easy, buddy. You take it easy. Sleep well. Make sure you're refreshed for the little one in the morning. Or well, in a couple of hours when they wake up again. Right, that's that's the third defeat of the season then. So we're not gonna. We certainly aren't going to be having an unbeaten season, that's for certain. Are the club okay? Are the club fine? Do the board still like us? Maybe. Fine. C. Job security. We're still in a job. We're still in a job. We're still here. It's fine. Let's play the Sampdoria game, and then that'll be us, I think. Although technically, you know, I know that there'll be some of you going, but Tony, there's another game left in this month, and that would make my OCD feel so much better if you played that as well. Let's wait and see what the result of the Sampdoria match looks like first of all. Right, Sven-Goran Eriksson's just been sacked. Right, okay. So we're now playing against managerless Sampdoria. That doesn't make it easier, does it? They're 7th, and Eriksson's been sacked. I know Italy's a bit trigger happy, but they've won one of the last 5. I mean, it's not a dreadful run they've been on. Like, if you compare that to our run, it's probably better. Like, we've had an awful lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one. Like, we're like absolute yo-yos at the minute. It's 100% Italian football, though, isn't it, Musterman? That's the problem. Roma have obviously have sacked their manager as well. Mazzone sacked. So we've already had 2 managerial moves. Oh dear, this is starting to feel nervous now. I don't know if left training is going to make any difference. See, shall we? Maybe he was not caught having an affair. It was too clean image for Sampdoria. It could be, yeah. It could be that. I still love the fact that whenever I look at the Sampdoria badge, all I can think of is the bloke off the Gorillaz front cover of the album. Rossi's injured, so that means Buffon's going to have to play in goal. Pirlo's injured. I mean, he wasn't really going to be playing anyway. Oh, okay. Here we go then. Sampdoria. They've definitely not got history, have they? You know, Sampdoria, the trust the process club. I haven't just seen that. I thought Gus Hiddink had gone to Sampdoria there for a second. I was like, they haven't just taken Gus Hiddink, have they? Right, we're down in 5th now. 3 points behind Juventus. We have got a game in hand, so a win could take us back to the top. John Toshak has taken over at Sampdoria. That doesn't make things any easier, you know. Where's Albertini? Albertini's still injured. Let's put Boban in the middle. Hullet needs a rest, but we also need to play our best players, sadly. I mean, I know we're saying we've got all these brand new players that have come in, and isn't our squad fantastic? There's not a lot of depth there. We were a shoo-in with a caretaker. I think we certainly had a better chance of winning with a caretaker, yeah. But, okay. Fair enough. Now we just need to give him the ball, let Toshak work his magic, guaranteed own goals. Right. come on then. We've got our control possession. We need to maybe... We might have to be a little bit more attack-minded. Which, as you know, doesn't sit natural with me. Well, I guess we'll work it out as we go along. I don't want to go gegenpress, but I feel like that's what we might have to do and force ourselves upon teams a little bit more. Because I was like, oh, let's play 4-4-2. Let's be a bit, you know, keep the football. Now I'm thinking it's like, right, let's get at them. Maybe we go into more of a diamond shape as well, possibly. I wonder. What year is this? This is 1994, 1995, Dominator. So, we're going back in time. I wonder if we do that then. We go for a wide diamond, maybe. I think this is going to be a problem now, isn't it? Oh, actually, Simone's picked it out. Wins it back. Misses, though. Drags it wide. Remember when John Toshak was Real Madrid manager? I do remember that. That was a thing. Let's go back to... (4-2-4) maybe, and then... Gegen's going to have to come off. Viecawood, Perini. This all looks a little bit concerning now, doesn't it? Oh. Stand him up. Vertical tick attacker maybe, or just tick attacker in general. Route 1. Like, what's quite attacking? What is quite attacking? Route 1 maybe. Nedved's corner. Penalty. There we go. That's what we need. Shearer steps up. Slams it home. No doubt about that. 11 for the season for Shearer. One more goal. That'll put us back to the top of the table. Have we got one more goal in us? We might do, you know. Nedved. Back post. Yes, we have. Desai. make a couple of changes now, I think. Right, level with Juve now. 1 point clear of Lazio, 1 point clear of Parma, 2 points clear of Napoli, 3 points clear of Fiorentina. Top of the table clash against Juventus. That'll be the first match that we watch on Friday. We're not doing it tonight. Or are we? When is it? When is it? I feel like we should probably not do it, because what will happen is if I lose, I'll then feel sad. And then I'll be like, oh, let's try and win another match. And then what happens is we end up just chasing results. And you can't do that. It's not a great idea, is it? Finish on a win. Exactly. Like, there'll be some people will be kicking off the fact that I've got one less. I've not finished rounding out the month, which I get, I understand, and it is a home game against Juventus, but let's try and think this logically, yeah? We want to have as much fun as we can. Fun is the thing. So, it's fun to finish on a win. Let's do that, okay? So let's celebrate the victory, and let's go and do ourselves a raid. So thank you everyone for being here tonight. It's been much appreciated. I'm sure you all had fun. I hope you had fun anyway. No stream tomorrow night because it's podcast night. Stream on Friday. So yeah, take care of yourselves everyone. We're off to go and see Law Drops. Not seen them before. They seem pretty new, so go and give them a follow, give them some love. They're not streaming anymore, so let's cancel that. Go and find someone else. They've just literally cut off, so that would have been them. We'd have gone there and they'd have had a lovely time. But no, not tonight. So who's still around? Anybody streaming FM that's... Is there anybody? There's hardly anybody, really. Someone do Man City. We don't want to do Man City, do we? Right. What's this one? Right, someone's doing an around the globe save. That'll do. Let's go there. Okay. I think it's in English. So let's do that. Right. Have fun, everyone. Take care. See you all on there. See you all on Friday. Right. Bye now. Have a happy Thursday. Take care. See ya.